I really want to take you from script to screen with this episode. It is in many ways a great departure from the norm, so I'd like to let you all in on that process. First things first, I was running short on time for that week's episode. We were on the tail end of a bunch of Office set episodes though, so I knew I wanted to get out of the boardroom. Problem being, locations are very difficult to secure at the best of times, and with little notice it's almost impossible. The hard truth is very few people are willing to let you film on their property, whatever that might be, because of health and safety issues, or simply because they don't want strangers fucking around in their house. So for no budget shoots like Bad Call, our location options are usually limited to places we own. I was tired, however, of dressing my living room up to look like something else, so I wanted a script which justified simply shooting in a living room. This kicked off an idea for an autobiographical Bad Call about this one night Daz, Jeff and I got hammered on this really cheap liquor and just had the worst hangovers in creation the next day. Problem is, that's a real funny story to us. I don't think it'd be all that funny to you, but it did get me thinking about the truly awful things that can happen when mates get together and hit substances that are, shall we say, a little harder than booze. So I googled around and finally came up with the sorry old tale of Jarod Wyatt and Taylor Power. This one jumped out at me for the obvious reason: the sheer visceral horror of what had happened. We're talking murder, dismemberment, and then the cooking of human organs on the stove. I should hasten to point out that Jarod Wyatt never actually ate his friend's body parts. He was just cooking them over the stove because he thought Powell was still alive, and this was the only way to end him for good. A kind of kill it with fire scenario, we can only assume. So that's what initially jumped out at me, and for reasons only the muses and future neurologists may understand, this fired the idea for the episode. Now, for me to get enthusiastic enough about an idea to actually film it, it needs to have zing. You know, something interesting or funny or otherwise fun about it. In this case, it was both the opportunity to make Jeff go all demon face with my new and growing After Effects skills, and also to really blindside people with a pretty creepy ending. I felt that ending was necessary because this is a terribly tragic story all told, and I wanted to pay respect to that. So all of those things came together to provide the script, and then it was just a question of gathering the necessary props and getting it in the can. We just shot it in our lounge room, and people have remarked on the niceness of the lounge room, so thank you for that. With first Jeff and I, and then I had Renee run camera for me for that final shot of Jarod covered with blood and standing over the stove. I didn't feel like I needed to subject Jeff to my nudity, you know what I mean? The blood was standard stage blood, which I mixed up earlier that evening, just water, syrup, and red and blue food dye. You're also supposed to include cornstarch, I believe, as a thickening agent, but that's not so easy to find in my neighborhood, so I thought, yeah, I can do without it. Wrong. The result worked well enough for our purposes, but for more demanding scenes it wouldn't have held up. It's too thin, too runny. In one of those gee whiz twists, the light in the bathroom had blown the day before, so I was in the bathtub in the dark while Renee tipped the blood all over me by the meager light of an LED flashlight. It would have made for quite a scene had anyone walked in. They didn't. Let's keep on with the technical theme and mention the organs, which appear in one of the final shots cooking in the saucepan. The heart is of course a cow heart, and there is a tongue wedged in beside it, though it's not perfectly clear what it is. Now, it doesn't really come through in the shot, but the organs were actually cooking, and let me tell you, the smell. The smell was gamey and greasy and not what you want permeating the air of your combined kitchen and living area. So once all the footage was in the can, it was time to demonize Jeff's face. To this end, I sought out the very excellent tutorial from Video Copilot. The demon face tutorial requires only After Effects. There's a subset of image warping tools in there that allowed me to expand Jeff's mouth and twist his eyes and nose. Anyway, it all seemed to pay off. I did get one commenter remarking that they'd watched the episode with their daughter and the demon face had caused her to cry. While I feel suitably guilty for that, rest assured there is also a gleeful goblin voice inside my head that is still chuckling. And with that voice in my, and now I hope a little in your head, I must take my leave, for there is more to write, more to shoot, and more to build. Always more, my friends. Always more. Thanks for watching.